Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about my prediction for the 2020 presidential election. Now, I do these types of prediction videos every 2 weeks at the beginning of the month and in the middle of each month. So this is my prediction for the middle of the month of July. So for this prediction, I'm just going to start off by filling in the safe states for Joe Biden and then the safe states for Donald Trump. These are all states that have voted with their respective parties in all recent elections, and these states are all polling very well for their candidate. So I will be including the states of Colorado, Virginia, Maine's at-large, and Maine's first district vote as safe for Joe Biden. This is because these states have all gone to the Democratic Party in recent elections, and they're all polling very, very favorably for Joe Biden. They're all show him leading in the states by over 15%. Now, for Donald Trump, there are not as many safe Republican states. Just because I do not think that he will be winning by as large of margins that he won in some of these traditionally Republican states like he did in 2016 to Louisiana, Mississippi. I do not think that they will be solid for Donald Trump. However, I think that they are more likely states in this time around. So states of Montana, Utah, Kansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Indiana. So these states, I think there's really no doubt that they will go to the Republican Party. However, I do not think that it will be the safe 15% margin that Donald Trump had in 2016. I think that these states will be a little bit closer. However, it is still basically almost going to go. I mean, almost certainly going to go to the Republican Party. Next, I want to look at some of the likely states for Joe Biden. These are basically the states that Hillary Clinton won in 2016 by smaller margins than she probably should have and was expected to. This includes the states of New Hampshire, Minnesota, New Mexico, and Nevada. These four states, they all went through Hillary Clinton by pretty narrow margins. She won Nevada by 2.8%, Minnesota by 1.5%, and New Hampshire by 0.4%. So she definitely underperformed what people expected in these four states. However, I think that Joe Biden, being a much more popular candidate, will be able to win with a much larger percentage of the vote in these four states. Along with that, I think that Michigan, a state that went to Donald Trump in 2016 by less than 12,000 votes, I think that the state of Michigan is becoming, more and more blue as Donald Trump has not been able to fulfill his campaign promises that he made in the state of Michigan. So I think that in the state of Michigan, Joe Biden will have a likely margin in the state. I think he'll win by a larger margin in Michigan than Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, the other two states. And so now we're just going to talk about the states I think are lean for Joe Biden. These being, of course, these states of Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Florida. So these four states, they all went to Donald Trump in 2016. These four states were all very important for the Trump campaign. If he did not win these four states, he would not have won the election. In the state of Wisconsin, I think that Wisconsin will be the closest out of these three Rust Belt states that went to Donald Trump in 2016. However, I think that Wisconsin will still be a lean margin for Joe Biden. I don't think that he will win by 1 to 2%. I think that around a 4 to 5% margin of victory for Joe Biden is more likely at the moment. Pennsylvania, Joe Biden's home state, I think he'll win by around 5 to 6% here. In the state of Arizona, he leads by 3% in the state. If Joe Biden were to win the state of Arizona, as he is projected to at the moment, he would be the first Democrat to carry the state of Arizona in 2 decades. Next, of course, is the state of Florida. Florida, at 29 electoral votes, it is a pretty big state. The state of Florida is typically very close in basically every single election. Donald Trump won the state by 1%. Barack Obama did not have, very large margins in the state of Florida. However, I think that Joe Biden will have a lean margin in the state. I think that a 4 to 5% margin is likely for Joe Biden in the state of Florida. He does lead in the polls by 7%. However, I think that on election day, this will definitely narrow down. And I think that, a lean margin is more likely for the former vice president. Next, I want to take a look at some of these lean states for Donald Trump. These being the states of Missouri, Arkansas, Alaska, and South Carolina. Now, these four states are typically safe Republican states. In this election, I do think that these states will almost definitely go to Donald Trump. However, of course, it's really just the margins that I don't think are going to be as favorable for the president. I think that he is not very popular in these states at the moment. Especially with his coronavirus response, that's been, basically it's been infecting the entire country. So I think that, Donald Trump will not be able to overperform his performance in 2016, as shown here that some of these, traditionally safe, red states are now only lean and likely states for Donald Trump. However, I think that these states, they're still pretty safe for Donald Trump. He shouldn't spend too much time in these states. Now we have some of the states I think are really the most important. But before that, I'm actually going to fill in the districts, the two swing congressional districts, the 2nd District of Nebraska as well as the 2nd District of Maine. I think that in the state of Nebraska, the 2nd District does lean towards Biden at the moment. Barack Obama did carry this district both times. Hillary Clinton did lose in 2016. However, I think Joe Biden will be able to retake it for the Democratic Party. And in the 2nd District of Maine, Hillary Clinton did also lose this district. However, this district has been voting with the Democrats from 1992 all the way up until 2016. So I think that Joe Biden will be able to flip this back for the Democratic Party. Next, I think we have, the 5 closest states. Now, these states all went to Donald Trump in 2016. So, yeah. It's not looking too good for the president at the moment. I think that Joe Biden will be able to narrowly win the state of Ohio as well as the state of North Carolina. Joe Biden leads in the polls by around 3% in the state of North Carolina. And I think that he will be the first Democrat in a couple of decades to flip the state blue. Also, albeit by a very small margin. I think that a 1 to 2% margin is likely, and I think that North Carolina likely won't be called very quickly on election night. Next is the state of Ohio. This is a bellwether state. This state has voted with the eventual winner in every single presidential election since 1960, I believe. And I think that, if, as you can see, Joe Biden did cross the 270 mark, if Joe Biden were to win the election, it would be shocking to see Ohio not go to Joe Biden. In addition to that, Joe Biden leads in the polls by around 1 to 2% in the state of Ohio. So I think that a very small margin of victory is likely for Joe Biden in the state of Ohio. Next, I want to give Donald Trump the state of Iowa. The state of Iowa, surprisingly, actually, is the only swing state that is actually polling in favor of Donald Trump. Every other swing state, Georgia and even Texas, is polling in favor of Vice President Biden. Every single swing state except for the state of Iowa. Joe Biden was leading in this state a couple of weeks ago. However, as of then, Donald Trump has been able to regain the lead in the state of Iowa. So that's some good news for him. The state went to him by almost 10%. So it's pretty surprising to see Joe Biden leading in this state. However, I think that if Donald Trump were to still win this state, I think it would go down to the wire. Next is the state of Georgia. In my past prediction, I did say that Georgia would go to Joe Biden. However, I think that his lead has slipped a little bit in that state. It is traditionally a red state, so I think that Donald Trump will be able to have the narrowest of victories in Georgia. However, I still think that I still think that Joe Biden has a very, very good chance of flipping the state of Georgia. For the first time, in a while. Georgia has been consistently voting with the Republican Party in recent elections. But, I think Joe Biden should definitely, focus some time on the state of Georgia as, this is definitely in reach for the former vice president. Lastly, I think that Texas will really be the closest state in this election. However, I do think that at the end of the day, it will go to Donald Trump. This is this has been a solid Republican state. It went to Donald Trump by almost 10% in 2016. It's never gone to a Democrat since 1976. When Jimmy Carter won the state along with the rest of the South. I think Joe Biden definitely has the best chance of any Democrat to flip the state of Texas. However, I do not think that it will happen in 2020. I think that definitely by the end of this decade, the state of Texas will, become, blue, I think, but however, very light blue. But I do think that Texas is becoming more and more liberal overall, more minority voters, which directly translates to Democratic voters. Texas, there's been a lot of talk about Texas being purple at the moment, and I think that is true. However, I think that at the end of the day, Texas, a Republican state, will go to the Republican Party. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like as well as subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next video.